Hi, I'm Addie, and this is my friend Mia. We are both a part of the Sarah Lawrence Community Engagement Initiative. CEI is a joint group put on by the Office of Community Partnerships and the Office of Diversity and Engagement. What we've been focusing on this year is that adaptive equipment is everywhere. And so we did some training with Adaptive Design Inc. in New York City, and we learned how to build items or pieces of adaptive equipment out of 3-ply cardboard, which is actually a very effective material. So today we're going to teach you how to build a seat wedge, which, what's this?
It's a seat wedge.
It's a seat wedge. And other things you can build out of 3-ply cardboard are easels and even chairs. So let's go! Okay, so the way you use the seat wedge is the higher part goes in the back and the shorter part goes in the front. And it's supposed to help your posture by helping you sit up straight. So the materials you're going to need for this project are a lot of 3-ply cardboard, and if you don't have 3-ply cardboard, you can always take 3 layers of cardboard and glue them together. Hot glue gun with the glue, a pencil for your measurements, along with a T-square or ruler, an X-Acto knife for cutting your cardboard, and for a thing we like to call edging, you're going to need some paper bags, an old credit card or old gift cards also work, and also these, I think, tiny scissors, or like sewing scissors, and regular glue. Also, it'd be good if you had a cutting board so that you don't cut your table.
Okay, before we start building, we need to take some measurements to see how large our seat wedge has to be. This is Jason, he's the model. So the measurements that you need are from the back of the back leg to the knee of the person who's going to be using the seat wedge, and from the back of the knee to the floor.
Okay, so the measurements that we're going to use for the top of the seat wedge are 11 by 14 inches. So you use the T-square to measure out the top and to get right angles. Then we're going to take the X-Acto knife and cut the cardboard. It's okay if you make mistakes. Just keep going. So for the perimeter, sort of angled-ish part of the seat wedge, the measurements we're using are 36.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and 36 inches, but we add half an inch because every time you make a bend in the cardboard, you lose about 1/4 of an inch. And when you cut, sometimes it helps to cut along the T-square.
When you orient your cardboard, you want the weight to be perpendicular to the corrugation of the cardboard. So you want this side, not this side.
Okay, so since we have this long piece, we need to bend it. And so we're going to measure where we need to bend it. So from the ends, we're going to measure 11 inches. As long as one of the sides of the top part. And in order to get our angle, we're just going to measure from the top of the line that we just measured to the diagonal corner. Then we're going to cut it. So we should have a piece that looks like that. And so now we're going to make the bends. Whoa. And so in order to make it bend easier, you can use your hands, or you can use the back of the X-Acto knife. You should have like 3/4 of a rectangle. Also, don't throw away the rest of what you cut out because you're going to need them for later. So now it's time for the hot glue part. Make sure you have enough hot glue. And also be careful because it is hot.
And you can burn yourself.
And you're gonna want to hold it for 15 seconds. And so, yeah.
And you take these two
and make sure that they fit against the back, so you may have to turn them over.
feel that they fit well.
They act sort of like as supports. So be sure to have enough glue. And also remember to glue this back part.
The next step is edging, which we do because we don't want the ends to be rough, and edging makes it smooth and gives it a finishing touch. So what you have to do is take the grocery paper bag and use whatever you think can help you cut best to cut rectangular pieces off.
You want to rip it.
You want to rip it, yeah.
Because it makes it stronger.
You want to rip it so that the threads are still there, so that they're not cut off, because it makes it smoother and stronger. When you're edging, it would be best to not let the ends overlap too much, because the point of the edging is to have the edges be smooth. So if it overlaps too much, the smoothness is gone. And what you do after you cut off your pieces is you take a glue and smear a lot of it. Take a glue and smear a lot of it on the paper bag, and you use the gift card or the credit card. You take the gift card and the credit card and you use it to spread the glue everywhere, so much that it kind of turns into a sticker, sort of. It just needs to be glue. and afterwards you...
It's sort of like paper mache.
It's like paper mache?
Paper mache.
It's like paper mache. And you want to make sure that there's no bubbles of any kind, that it's as smooth as possible. And whatever ends you need to, you can cut. But here,
or you can sand.
Or you can sand the ends, and if there are parts that are overlapping, you can cut them off. But here, what Addie is doing, she doesn't need to cut off anything. So after you're done edging, you can paint your seat wedge. We just use regular paint from Home Depot. We use regular paint, and after that we use polyurethane over it to coat it and make it glossy. After it's painted, you can either just leave it as it is, or you could put a yoga mat on it, and a yoga mat is just to make it more comfortable to sit on. And you can just take 1 inch from each side and glue the yoga mat with a hot glue gun. And you can also, if you would like, you could put yoga mats on the bottom so that it's not as slippery, but you don't need to do that either. And this is a finished product. And here's